Listening to Spoiler Country. See, I did a great job already. I spoiled it. You can use that one.
Oh, yeah.
This is Karla Pacheco, Marvel writer extraordinaire, and you're listening to Spoiler Country.
Super serious question.
What's that?
Does Spider-Man, Spider-Woman, and all the clones, when I say all the clones, I don't mean like the Clone Wars, or the Clone Saga or whatever they call it. Like the Ben O'Reillys. That's a clone though, isn't he?
Ben Reilly, yeah.
Yeah. Is it O'Reilly or just Ben Reilly?
Ben Reilly.
Why do I always want to say O'Reilly? I think I always say O'Reilly. Oh, you know why? Because O'Reilly Auto Parts. That's why.
Right.
In Miles Morales, if they get into a battle royale, who's coming out on top?
Who's coming on top between Spider-Man, Peter Parker, Spider-Man, Miles Morales, and Spider-Woman?
Yeah.
Probably Peter Parker.
Just out of experience?
I think experience, but I think if we're doing them all at their peak powers, I don't know. Probably still Peter Parker is because he has a strength there.
Yeah.
But Miles has electric powers and invisibility powers, and Spider-Woman has other stuff too. But it's like ultimate question: who's writing it?
That's always the question, right? Who's writing it?
Yeah. Pound for pound, probably Peter Parker, but who's writing it will determine.
Yeah, that's interesting. We still owe the Spoilerverse a in-depth review, in-depth look at Spider-Man.
Yeah, that's on you, buddy.
I know. Is it ever going to happen? Yeah, it'll happen.
It's been like 2.5 years, man.
Why you got to put a time on it?
I'm just saying. I did mine. The one I said I was going to do, I did it right away.
Yeah. I did it right away.
Yeah.
We should actually do a bunch of them.
We should do a bunch of them.
Anyways, welcome back to Spoiler Country. I'm Kenric, and that right there is the one that's always thinks he's right. Mr.
Hey, that's
Horsley.
you. I'm the one who's always right.
You're so funny. Today on the show, it's Karla Pacheco, isn't it?
It is, man. And she comes on, and she's the current writer on Spider-Woman, hence our little foyer into Spider Talk in the beginning.
Yep.
And she seems pretty cool, man. You talked to her, right?
Oh, yeah. She's super cool. She's really nice. She's very funny. She's done a lot of comedy writing. She worked at Cracked and...
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And she was a DJ for a long time. And yeah, she's done a lot. Like over-the-air DJ. I guess it's always confusing when people say they're a DJ.
Right. Are you a disc jockey or are you a Wicca Wicca DJ?
Yeah. I don't know. She might have been Wicca Wicca. I don't know. If that's how we say it now. We go Wicca Wicca.
It's a legal term.
It's a total. It's legit. It's legit. Yeah. But she's worked at a bunch of radio stations. She worked at the alternative rock stations in Chicago and Iowa, and so she knows all about the end. And she, got to meet. She's met so many people and is friends with some amazing people. This is a fun interview. If you don't have fun listening to this interview and laugh, then you just don't have any joy in your life right now.
Yeah, what are you doing here? Come on.
Yeah, because she was like, no joke, she is a ton of fun. So
sounds like we should have her back on sometime to just bullshit.
Oh, we already said that. She's coming back on for her next stuff when she can announce some of the things that she can't talk about live and in person. Then she'll come back on. Actually, she'd come back on just to bullshit.
There you go. Let's do it.
You should probably have a conversation with her because you'll be like, oh my God, I love this lady. Yeah, she's really cool. So without further ado, get your Karla on. All right, guys. Welcome back. And today on the show, she's part of the now infamous Crazy Goat team.
It is.
And she is currently writing Spider-Woman, and she has been a writer for Cracked and Mad. If I'm wrong,
Cracked and National Lampoon.
National Lampoons.
Yeah, that's what there we go. The other funny people from the 70s.
The other funny people. That's right. Karla Pacheco.
Karla Pacheco. Yeah, that's me. I was not actually writing for either of those in their heyday,
Right.
or I was writing for them in their second heyday,
Right.
let's say.
Cracked is a
Crack's kind of,
it's great. It's like how do I say this? It's like that actor that does all these amazing stuff but never gets the recognition.
Yeah, it's a kind of that guy of comedy.
Yeah. When I heard you worked at Cracked, I was like, oh, that's cool. You don't meet very many people that work there that you know of.
Well, I was part of Cracked when they sort of came back and became a larger internet presence.
Yeah.
And so I was a very, very small part of that back in, I think, like 2004 to 2007-ish. And so, so that was where I was writing some comedy back in the day. And before that, writing for National Lampoon and just like my own websites and stuff.
Yeah,
and
cool.
Then I didn't do anything and disappeared off the face of the earth. And then I just showed up like Athena from the forehead of Zeus. Hi, I'm going to write comics. I'm Karla.
And you're going to love it.
Turned out okay.
It's working.
Yeah, so far.
Have you always want to be a writer?
I think it was a thing I'm good at, which I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but toot is my fashion. And I always took comedy really seriously. Like, I think writing comedy was something that I always gravitated towards, and it was really important to me. Writing comics kind of came out of the blue for me.
Really?
Yeah. I was just kind of randomly, a few years back and I was already friends with a ton of comics people because of the comedy writing and because of National Lampoon, because of Cracked. Like, we were all moving in the same circles.
Right.
But I never really thought of, oh yeah, I can write comics, even as much as I loved comics. It just hadn't been a thing I was trying to do.
Like, I know I can do comedy.
That's I ended up writing like this little kind of jokey script that no one will ever see. And like, for a big 2 character, likewise, why no one will ever see it.
Right.
But just plotting that out, like realizing how you can script comics and what you can do with them. And I've said this before, but it felt like coming home.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it was just cool. Like,
it's rare when you find that.
And you just realize the way that comics can work and all the stuff you can do with them, and how you can like completely screw with people, for 6 issues.
Not only in the story, but the outside fandom as well.
I got to get to that later. And how. But yeah, and I really, I wrote this first little comic script, and I was just like, oh, this feels good. This feels right. Like, this is like I said, it felt like coming home, where even as much as I loved writing comedy, I guess I always felt like that felt like a craft that I was working really hard to hone.
Right.
Where I was always sweating over every, is poop funnier than fart in this, in this exact moment. And I still do that. Like, on Twitter, y'all don't know, even as filthy as I am and as crazy as I am on Twitter.
Yeah.
I will sweat over those terrible, terrible jokes. And y'all don't even know.
A good fart joke, though, is so good.
It's important.
Yeah. Did you ever watch that show? Did you ever watch that show Superstore? Is it Superstore?
I don't think I did. I saw ads.
It's with America Ferrera and But there's this one episode where the manager of the store is talking with the CEO, and they're on a big conference call, and he's sitting there and he's so nervous he can't talk. And all of a sudden you just hear this, and it's like, oh my God, it's so funny. And he's like, that wasn't me, it was him. And he just starts getting an argument with the CEO right there. But it was like, it starts with the fart. It's so funny.
No, dude, an exquisitely crafted fart joke I will never deny. And like I would put so much work into my exquisitely crafted fart jokes. And writing comics, I still put so much work into my exquisitely crafted fart jokes, but now they're involving helicopters exploding and dinosaur punching.
That's always good.
And I just love it so freaking much. And I am the luckiest girl in the world. Yeah. The stuff that I've gotten to write for Marvel, for Oni, it's just been, it's so much fun. And I feel weird because like I'm like the old lady that just showed up super late.
I feel like that all the time. Well, minus the old me. I always feel like the old guy that shows up and everybody's like in their 20s, and I'm just like,
yeah, no. I mean, that's the thing is like there are so many like young kids in their 20s doing amazing comic work, and I'm just like, hey, I'm the old lady that just showed up at the like at the concert, and hey, what's up, teens?
You're like, I'm on fleek, and they're like, no one's saying that anymore.
Yeah,
but I just understood what that meant like yesterday.
But I'm just like, I was a radio DJ for 10 years. I was cool. I used to be cool in Chicago and in the Midwest.
I love Chicago.
Yeah, so I used to DJ for Q101 in Chicago, the alt rock station there, and before that, I was at an alt rock station like down in the Quad Cities. And so I kind of like I started as a radio DJ before even the comedy writing. I started as a radio DJ.
That's hilarious.
Basically walked in off the street in high school and talked my way into a job.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I talked my way into an internship.
Need more stories like that. That's awesome.
No, I mean, like, I've always been, I guess, like, we're allowed to cuss here, right? Like,
fuck yeah.
Yeah, sweet. No fucking worries. Yeah, so I don't think it'll come as a surprise to anyone that Karla has always been a consummate bullshitter.
Yeah.
And so I basically just talked my way into an internship.
Nice.
Like informal internship at the at the radio station. I was 18 years old and I wasn't supposed to even be anywhere near a mic by the end of the summer where I was supposed to start college. Like I had an academic scholarship, I had a theater scholarship, and I was doing all this so I could go into radio.
Yeah.
And by the end of the summer, when I was supposed to start classes for, communications major, I was already co-hosting the morning show.
Oh, wow.
And it was fucking Iowa, dude. Co-hosting the morning show and
cool, though.
Already recording a full slate of commercials. Like I was producing commercials for the sales staff. I was I was doing the afternoon shift. I was doing like 3 different overnight shifts on different radio stations, like the classic rock station, the alt rock station, the NPR affiliate.
Wow.
Oh no, I had my very official, this is Karla Pacheco doing her, coming up. We've got Dave Baker. And a lovely jazz trio.
Do they box you into that voice on NPR?
Oh, no, not on NPR, but I just always did the radio voice. So.
Yeah. I love it.
Yeah.
That's a great story.
I mean, so I did that. So basically I was supposed to go to college. Instead, I dropped out after. What were
your parents saying to you at this time?
They were confused.
Yeah. Yeah.
A little bit.
So like, this child of ours, I don't know.
Yeah, well, especially considering that I'd been raised like really strict, like evangelical conservative.
Oh, here, wait, is this you? Yeah, me too. Was right there with you.
Yeah.
I still have problems with that whole religion because of all the things I had to go through as a kid. My sister got in a fight with her friend in the front yard, and they were screaming at each other. And my mom bust through the door and spoke in tongue. And in the name of Jesus Christ, you guys need to disperse. That legit happened. So yeah, I know the pain.
So that was like a Kool-Aid Man exorcism.
Yeah. That's funny. Yeah. She prayed a bee out of her car one time.
I mean, he was gonna go one way or another, but right? Yeah. But so it was a little weird for them where, like, at one point, I was supposed to go to a Christian college, also for communications, to go be a missionary. Instead, I ended up dropping out and becoming an alt-rock DJ who is now covered in tattoos. So it was interesting, but I mean, from there, I ended up making a 10-year career out of it.
Yeah.
I after the Quad Cities, I ended up
too.
Yeah, ended up going
to maintain.
Yeah, and I ended up going to Chicago, and like we were talking earlier, went and worked for Q101. I was a DJ there for 4 or 5 years. Was created like some industry nights, like open mic nights and demo nights for local bands. I was super involved. I was a producer on the local music show, Local 101 in Chicago, where I was the producer for the local show. So it was a lot of very, very cool, very well-known bands now. And
wasn't Smashing Pumpkins out of Chicago?
Yeah, totes. I actually, at one point, I had stopped by the office I think to just pick up my paycheck, and the music director is just like, hey, we need to go over to the studio. You want to come? I was like, yeah, sure. We go over. It's for a Zawan listening party with Billy Corgan,
that's
Haas,
awesome.
Jimmy Chamberlain. And I was just like, yeah, no, I'm cool. Yeah, super cool.
I'm flat still. I'm right.
I'm chill. We're just hanging. And it was hilarious because they were talking about, so we're listening to the whole album before anyone else has ever heard it. And because the station, Q101 was a really influential station. And
the end here for 107.7. They used to be, that's what they were in the 90s, like the early 90s, the whole grunge explosion. They were on
it was the end. It was KEXP. It was 101. Like, these were like the top alt stations in the country. And it was funny. Just like, we're sitting in the studio, and I'm basically sitting on a couch next to a Billy Corgan, which a lot of people give Billy Corgan a lot of shit, which understandably he can be a dick.
Yeah. But he loves his wrestling.
He loves his wrestling. He loves cats. He loves tiny trains.
He loves Rush. So it's hard for me not to like anybody who loves Rush.
It was the one thing that I got like a huge amount of sympathy was because I'd known other friends coming up from Illinois in the Quad Cities of people who had either gone to high school with him, or their older brother or sister had gone to high school with him. And basically, as soon as Smashing Pumpkins hit big, everybody was, oh, hey.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
And, that's always a shitty position to be in.
That's like the lead singer of Death Cab for Cutie went to my high school. And
because we were just talking, we're both in Washington. Yeah.
He's, I can't remember his name. And we were in the same graduating class. We had the same circle of friends. I don't remember him. And I'm not going to pretend to be like, oh, yeah, da-da-da-da-da. You know what I mean? Because he wasn't somebody that was flamboyant or in the mix of everything. My buddy is like best friends with him. He goes, you don't remember him? I'm like, I feel kind of bad because I feel like I should. But at the same time, I'm not going to fake it,
Yeah. And so it was so funny, like sitting in the studio, Billy Corgan there, and they're talking about like, what are they going to do for album art?
Yeah.
For that first Swan album.
Yeah. It's a great album.
And like I mean, I loved Swan mostly just because I loved Perfect Circle and Paz was there from Perfect Circle. So I was
Nice.
more like squee about that than the fact that Jimmy Chamberlain was passing around his baby picture, like pictures of his new baby,
Yeah.
or that Billy Corgan was right there. I was just like, Paz, she's pretty. I love
That's awesome.
you. And so they're joking about like,
low key. You're
yeah,
all
no, oh no, I'm definitely, yeah, Carla's always known for keeping it low key. That is, if anyone has ever said anything about Karla Pacheco, it's definitely I keep it low key. And I am subtle as the day is long.
Here's a short pier. Go for that long walk.
Yeah. So they're talking about like, oh, what are we going to do for album art cover, for album art for this album? And me just being a dick, making jokes. I was just like, you should do monkeys. Everybody loves monkeys. And I see Billy Corgan's face light up for like 2 seconds, like, and then his face falls. And it is the saddest thing ever.
Oh no.
And he just goes, yeah, if I did that, like, you'd just sue me like in 6 months.
You're like,
oh, dude. And he was just like, no, he goes, we used like a flute, like 2 flute notes in like the last album. Someone from high school said I stole her flute notes. Like, I can't do anything without people thinking that I've stolen from them or thinking that like, and it's like, yeah, it's like me just making like a, stupid joke about, I mean, to be fair, I do think monkeys would have been awesome on that cover.
Great. Would have been great.
Again, everyone loves monkeys. Right. Everyone loves monkeys, helicopter explosions, and punching dinosaurs. Yeah, it's the Karla Pacheco.
Monkeys fling poo, and that's funny.
Like we already established, poo and fart jokes, hilarious.
Exactly. We got that all the way back around. How do we do that?
No, full circle. Yeah, see, that's the Karla experience. Bring it full circle. I felt so bad for the guy. Like, no one can give him any sort of suggestion or advice without having to double guess it. Like or second guess it. Like you can never just take someone at full value, and that's a really. And obviously there's other celebrities and musicians who've managed to live their lives mostly or partially without that. But it is, it is tricksy. It is sad because it sucks when you can't have people just accept you, for who you are. Yeah.
Because you don't know. You feel like they're trying to get something out of this.
Yeah.
And the sad thing is a lot of them are.
Yeah. You never know who is trying to use you and who actually wants to like you for who you are. And even if someone does like you for who you are, or just wants to make a monkey joke, you can't take it at face value anymore. And I obviously which isn't to say that Billy Corgan hasn't been a dick in history, but it's also, he's a guy who likes cats and tiny trains, and I feel like people kind of give him a lot of shit that he probably didn't deserve.
That's funny. I didn't know he liked.
Did you ever, no. The reason I'm saying that, did you ever see the picture of him riding around in a little, like, those little zoo train cars?
What?
No, there's like a picture of him riding around a zoo train car.
I'm looking it up right now.
Yeah, he looks the happiest he's ever been, and that's all I want. That's all I want for anyone.
Exactly.
Be as happy as Billy Corgan, sitting in a little tiny train car, being happy, leaving your cares behind.
Well, this one they got him. He looks super sad in it.
oh, wait. Maybe I conflated that with the cats. Anyway, cross-reference that with the picture of him with the cats, and let's all do that.
There you go.
Oh, right. Yeah, no. I just like Mandela affected that in my own little head.
It's like the Keanu Reeves on the park bench.
Yeah. Which also,
man.
okay,
He was
so
like the nicest guy in the world, apparently.
oh, dude, you have no idea. So my partner's a
Opened up.
stuntman.
Mhm.
As anyone who's listened to any of my podcasts, interviews, or reads my Twitter will know. So my partner's a stuntman. We call him Stunt Dick. And
Stunt cock.
Stunt Dick. Stunt Dick. And we have very, very firm opinions on certain movie stars.
Yeah.
The ones that are the good ones are Keanu
nice.
and Danny Trejo.
Yeah, I can see Danny Trejo being a really good guy.
Oh no, Danny Trejo is absolute mensch.
That's awesome.
No, Danny Trejo went on interviews talking about how he's not going to put an entire production at risk. Yeah. And I quote, just to prove I've got huge huevos.
Right.
Like he specifically said, I'm not going to risk 80 people's jobs, other people's lives, just so I can prove I've got big balls by doing my own stunts.
Right.
I will let the people who are trained to do the job do the job.
That makes sense.
And that's like so good. Like that's what you want. And because and he was specifically calling out Tom Cruise when he said that. Because Tom Cruise shut down production for a month because he sprained his ankle doing a stunt he shouldn't have been doing, just to prove that he could do it himself.
So many of them too. It's kind of crazy.
Listen, I will get super touchy talking about stunts, because when you love someone who's a stunt person who is risking their lives to make stuff look good,
make that person look even better.
Yeah, it is such an insult, and it is so dangerous when celebrities that aren't trained for it think of it as either a joke or as some sort of achievement.
Proving ground.
Yeah, it's a proving ground to them. Versus it's like, no, it's like a livelihood for an entire production.
Yeah.
Like if you get hurt doing something that you're not trained to do, because
they don't get paid, the production shuts down, right?
Yeah, no, it shuts production down for everyone. Keanu is why we love Keanu so incredibly much. Is he does all the training. He learns all of the martial arts.
Yeah.
He's incredibly talented and very, very good.
Yep.
But when it comes down to the day, he lets his stunt people do the work. Yeah. He does, he knows exactly what they're doing. He trains with them. He does all the training. He doesn't take on anything that he can't take on safely for both himself and for the entire production.
Yeah.
I'll get all touchy again.
No worries.
So, Charlize Theron, a lot of people were like, "Oh, she trained with all Keanu's people, and why isn't everyone talking about how great she is as a stunt, person and doing all of her own stunts and stuff?" And she was in interviews talking about, "Oh, I know my stunt guys hate me because I hit them for real."
Yeah. Oh, that's great.
Yeah, no. It's like I literally lost my shit.
Yeah.
This isn't acting. This isn't cute. This is you putting your crew in a dangerous position, and they can't say no to it.
Right.
And they can't defend themselves. They're paid at a fraction of what you're getting paid. And I kind of lost my shit on that quote.
Yeah.
She's like, "Oh no, I'm doing all the training, I'm doing all the fighting, and I'm sure they hate me, ha ha ha, because I actually I hit them instead of pulling my hits." And for a stunt person or for someone who if I found out you did that to my partner, I would lose my goddamn shit.
Yeah.
And this is and this is with me, being many years now with someone who got his eye broken by Stephen Dorff.
Yeah. Seriously?
Yeah. Stephen Dorff cracked his Public Enemies.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. What does he feel like with Jackie Chan? Who was known as that? Because it's a different scenario, I feel like.
We are conflicted on Jackie Chan. Jackie always doesn't do anything or ask his stunt crew to do anything he's not willing to do himself.
Right.
He does put productions at risk, but it's coming from a different... I'm an old school Jackie Chan fan.
Yeah.
And to bring this back to comics and stuff, PETA is, and the artist on Spider-Woman.
Right. Does fantastic work, by the way.
So, oh God, yes.
Yeah.
So he's also a trained martial arts instructor.
Mm-hmm. That's cool.
And so both of us having this kind of martial arts background is kind of why Spider-Woman looks the way it does. And I'm very happy about that. But yeah, so for Jackie Chan specifically, I guess the answer would be it's complicated. It's somewhere in between.
To me, I feel because I can commiserate, but I can empathize with what you're saying, but I can't commiserate, I guess would be the way to say that. Because I don't understand, because I don't come from that background. I don't have, you know what I mean? I don't have somebody working in Hollywood ever. I have friends that do stuff in Hollywood, but.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing. It's Jackie Chan, what he came from.
That's all they did, right? In China.
Well, the Hong Kong training, what he and Sammo Hung were, Sammo Hung was elder brother. It was, they were trained to take a lot of damage.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that
take a lot of risk and a lot of damage.
Take a lot of risk, take a lot of damage. So it's kind of almost, it's.
They didn't have stunt people like we do today, though.
No, because they were the stunt actors. Yeah. It was the actors were the stunt people, which is why a lot of times the acting wasn't very good. But the stunts were cool.
Amazing.
And depending on who the coordinator was, sometimes they were super inventive. Sometimes they were just mind blowing. Other times it's oh, this was super dangerous for no fucking reason. And so
no reason at all.
Yeah, no reason. Yeah, no, we just thought it'd look cool. We have done it. Cool. Yeah, it did look cool. Could we have done it safely? Yeah.
Yeah.
But we didn't. So
like you were saying though, with PETA and you looking at Spider-Woman today and the artwork that's coming out and you're writing all this stuff out, how fantastic is it for you to send something in, it comes back and you're like, oh my God, he nailed it again.
Oh, it's every time I know he's going to nail it. That's never in question. What's been amazing with this run of Spider-Woman is PETA and I have completely been collaborating on all of this.
That's awesome.
I ask him what he wants to draw.
Yeah.
I figure out a way to get it into the story and make it make sense.
Oh, that's cool.
The ability Spider-Woman, it absolutely is a real partnership. Yeah. And I think both of us have talked about it's one we're both so grateful for, and one that I feel is sadly unique, but also it's really cool. But we collaborate on the things that I want to do. We'll be sending each other emails behind the editor's back of oh, hey, so I'm thinking about this. He's like, nice. Oh, okay. No, actually, he'll tell me oh, hey, I want to do this. I want to do this. And I'm just okay, yeah, let me figure it out. I'll get it there. Yeah. That's why Spider-Woman #7, there's this amazing kung fu scene between Jessica Drew and Danny Rand and Iron Fist. PETA, when we knew we were going to be getting a second arc, I asked PETA, I was like, what you want?
Yeah.
Like,
I got you.
I was like, what do you want to see? Like, what are things that you really want coming up? And, and obviously, and issue 7, that was a tie-in issue, but I knew the things that he wanted to experiment with as an artist, the things he wanted to draw. And a lot of it's been like, just obviously, I have been going just bullshit bonkers on so many of these ideas. And then Pata just keeps and then Pata just enables me. I'm just like, okay, we're going to have the entire Drew family ride out on dinosaurs with laser rifles and it looks
lasers on their head.
Yeah, and it's like, and it looks like a cool emotional moment instead of just like, what the fuck just happened? I mean, it also looks like what the fuck just happened, but it looks cool.
That's awesome.
And so
for laser guns and dinosaurs, that's hard. How can that not be cool?
Well, I remember there was a line in the script, trying to remember if it was issue 4 or issue 5, where the line in the script was officially, it's dinosaurs fighting robots. I don't know what the fuck else you want. And Pata was just like, this is the best line in a script I've ever actually seen. I try to give him, it's like not even gonna pretend.
That's awesome.
And I try to make sure he's got stuff that he's excited about, and then he puts up with my bullshit when I'm just like, okay, so what if 6 helicopters and a horse and a monster truck all exploded at once, which is not a thing that happens, but is kind of close in something that is coming up in a future issue. We have joked about coming up in this next arc of Spider-Woman. There will be horses, monster trucks. I don't know. I think I put some boats and airplanes in there. Basically, everything you're never supposed to make an artist draw if you love them.
You're putting in.
Yeah.
He can handle it.
Yeah. But we're also like, we're having fun. It's like the way Para and I work, it's we do work old school Marvel style a lot of times, where I know the stuff that he really wants to like design.
Yeah.
And so I figure out a way to put that into the story. Then I just let him go nuts on it.
That's awesome.
I'll structure out like, oh, here's the emotional beat, here's the story beat, here's this. But after that, I just get the fuck out of his way.
Yeah.
Because why would I not? Why, like, how the hell do I think I'm going to come up with a better panel layout than Pata fucking Perez? Right. Like, the things he's been doing with panel layouts, I just feel are just the most inventive action scenes we have seen in comics in years and years and years. I take no credit for that. Pata is a monster and a beast, and I come up with ridiculous stuff, and then I just say, go. I will figure it out later to make sure it all makes sense. Like,
yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, no, and it's a great partnership, and I feel like we're so lucky to get to work together like this.
You're got approved for the second arc.
Oh no, we're halfway through the third, my son.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. But the question is, you took over from Dennis Hopeless, and he's a nice guy. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you've ever had a chance to talk with him. He's a really good guy.
Oh, totes.
And are you surprised by the response that you guys are getting and how well it's being received?
I was when I first got the series, just because I'd always loved Spider-Woman, but this was my first ongoing series.
Yeah. Well, because I'm asking the question because Spider-Woman has always been a popular, I mean, she's been a character that's been there and people like her, but she's never been like a forefront character. And it feels like your Spider-Woman has really taken off and people are really gravitating about it more. Like the only thing prior to you taking it over that people like talked about was the Manana cover. And people were freaking out about his cover. And then, and then Dennis took it. And I mentioned Dennis because he took it and he did some cool stuff, but nobody really talked about it. Now that you've been taking it, dude, people talk about it all the time.
Well, thank you. I feel like I know a lot of people super related to what Dennis did with the character.
Yeah.
I know a lot of
made it more grounded, right?
I know there were a lot of people that felt a connection with the more grounded character, with her trying to build a family, trying to find her own place. And the thing that I've always said when I was going into this was I didn't want to burn anything to the ground.
Yeah.
Like these Spider-Woman stories, even though she hasn't had as many like solo series as she should have at this point.
Right.
She's a 44-year-old character.
Yeah.
I know because she and I have the exact same birthday.
That's awesome.
I mean, year and day.
Yeah, that's hilarious. It's like fortuitous that you got that gig.
Well, no, destiny, man. But she hasn't had as many solo runs as she deserved.
Yeah.
And I love the solo runs that she's had. I think a lot of people have done really, really great work with that. Yeah. And I feel like the voice of Jessica Drew has always stayed true through all of those.
Right.
So it was very important for me not to like burn the house down so I can build my own little shack on top of it.
Yeah.
I wanted to take the foundation that everyone else has been building, between Dennis and between Brian Bendis.
Right.
And, Nosenshi and everybody. Yeah. And just.
It's always weird too, because legacy characters, people are super, defensive against. And I heard you in an interview, you're talking about people giving you shit because they felt like you're killing all their enemies have been like middle-aged white guys or something. It's like,
oh no, that was only in the first issue where they were mad that I was like throwing a child off a boat, which to be fair, I would do that whether or not I was Spider-Woman. So
kind of funny, though. I mean, I think people, it's just, I don't know, detractors are weird, and you're taking a legacy character, and I think you're doing a great job. So I'm interested in where you go with it, because
I mean, I think we've got some really cool stuff coming up with it.
Yeah.
And I'm very excited that we've gotten to take the story as far as we have so far, and where we're continuing to take it. And also, like, I super appreciate the trust that the readers have given me and given Pata. And that obviously, like, we, from her last solo series where she was a mom, like Teeny and Kelly Sue and Kelly Thompson have all done amazing stuff with Spider-Woman in other series, like mostly, in Captain Marvel or Strike Force.
Yeah.
And so she's shown up elsewhere, and they've all done great work with her.
That's cool.
But she hadn't had, her own solo series for a while. And then when she gets one, I just like, all right, so what if we just put her in a real bad mood and blow up some helicopters and punch some dinosaurs? And everyone
is more fun.
It's fun, but the readers have definitely gone along with it and trusted that I love Jess as much as they do. And even if we're not always going to have the same version of Jessica Drew, if we're not going to have, you can't, like, I mean, that's the thing about writing superhero comics, like
everything changes all the time. That's why I never understand all these people that freak out about changes.
I think, like, as long as you can just keep enriching it, that's the point. We're enriching, we're expanding, we're building.
Where I have a problem when they make changes? It's not the changes. It's, I don't want somebody else besides Peter Parker to be Spider-Man. I don't want a Ben O'Reilly, you know what I mean, to be Spider-Man. Spider-Man. You say Spider-Man, that's Peter Parker to me. I had a huge problem with Miles Morales. I was talking to my buddy, and we were talking about Miles Morales, but I didn't know the story of Miles Morales. And then once he like, read this, and I was like, okay, this guy is really cool. Now I can't say shit about that, you know, because it's great.
I mean, like for me, it's like every comic that I read, I won't necessarily like, even the ones written by my best friends. Sometimes a comic is not for me.
Right.
Anyone who's I mean, I love Miles Morales. I love people who add to the Spider-Verse. I love people who are giving extra facets to the diamond that is this crazy thing called comics.
Yep.
Not everything will be for me. Not everything will be for you.
Exactly.
And nothing that someone adds to that, even if someone retcons something, that doesn't detract. It might change how the story goes forward, but it doesn't take away all those comics that you read beforehand.
Yeah.
Those still exist.
100%.
Those still exist. They're still there. You can still go back and read them. And know what? Maybe in 2 more, turns down the highway, they'll get back to what the thing that you appreciated about a character, or maybe they'll add some whole new and
you'll be like,
diversions. Yeah. Like you never know how it's going to turn out. And
funny what you're saying right there is exactly how I felt with Supergirl, the TV show. I started watching it and it just didn't speak to me, but I don't go and say, oh my God, I just quickly realized, oh, this show isn't made for me.
Yeah.
That's okay.
And that's okay.
At all.
It doesn't take away anything you liked from the character or if any of the books that you liked before. I'm sure plenty of people don't like what I'm doing with Spider-Woman. Like they'd rather see her go back to
only lame people, Karla. Only lame.
Let's be honest. Yes. But I've got to be nice. At the end of the day, we are all playing in this huge sandbox. And I am so happy to be here. And
you're being respectful about the whole thing and you're making changes for yourself that drive the story. That's all you can do.
My only goal is to make sure that I'm making a good story.
Yeah.
And that I'm not doing
a good story will win out everything else.
I just want to make sure I'm never doing something cheaply. Like I'm not doing a big change just
no pandering.
It's just I'm not doing a big change to either pander or not pander. I am the meteor pander. I am the panda.
The meteor panda. I'm the
panda. There's your quote for the
right. That's for going in the little box for the YouTube
for your episode description. The panda. No, I'm trying to tell a good story. I am grateful to everyone who came before me that laid down foundations that I can build a story on.
Yeah.
I might take it in a direction that someone does or doesn't like, but at the end of the day, that's all I can do is try to tell the best story I can tell, and especially just like unleash Para on all of it.
That guy's work is just ridiculous.
It really is bonkers, and like I said before, I'm the luckiest girl in the world. I knew I loved Spider-Woman.
Yeah.
I knew I really liked the character.
Did you love Spider-Woman before you started working on her too, or
yeah, no, I
doing the work.
No, I liked her. Like my first, I mean, part of the reason why, and I was given options of where I wanted to take the story from, and like for me, it's like way back in the day, like I was reading, Bendis's New Adventures, and I was reading Spider-Woman Origins, and I liked the character.
Yeah. And
so getting an opportunity to do something with her, was just phenomenal. Yeah. It's like, and especially when they're just like, yeah, we want to just take it really big over the top. And I was like, so how many helicopters do you want to explode on a boat? Because I'm going to start this first one with a boat running off another boat and exploding, and then a helicopter.
We're
also,
going 80s action movie over the top.
Yeah, and then also this guy that's never met me yet or never talked to me yet, he's going to have to draw every single character in the Marvel Universe as a teenager in a costume on a teenage party boat. So this is going to work out well.
Yeah.
And the fact that Peta did not immediately just go like, oh, fuck you, is pretty impressive. And it's also extremely amazing just that that first issue, I just think he took it to the mountaintop right That's from awesome. The get-go.
That's great.
And I feel like he has just progressively, like everything he's been doing has just gotten bigger and better. Like, issue 9 just came out.
Yeah.
And we have these 2 huge double-page spreads.
Oh, nice.
That, one is showing Octavia Vermis's history, and the way he lays that out is phenomenal. And then the next one is showing Jessica Drew waking up, so to speak, and the way he drew that out is amazing. And and it's like I'm telling him every moment that needs to show up,
right?
But I'm not telling him how to do it. Because why would I? Like, yeah. I ain't gonna get in the way of genius. I'm just gonna go like
detract from the process. He's killing it.
It's like, no, here are my stupid little story notes, and here's the emotions everyone's feeling. Anyway, I'll see you in 2 weeks, and then I will write lettering all over this.
You got the editors at Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
When you submit something, obviously they've been really good with you. Is it a nice?
They've been enablers.
They've been enablers.
Oh yeah, enablers from the get-go for this series, for sure.
And then, have you worked with Tom Brevoort a lot, or just a little bit here and there?
I sat next to him at a dinner once.
Yeah.
Where I very nervously tried not to talk, and then most recently, for no reason that we can talk about, I may or may not have seen him on a Zoom call. And he complimented my hat.
Nice.
And I said it was because I didn't want to do my hair anymore. So I had to get up at 8:30 a.m. for this call that we won't talk about. The reasons that I was on the call for. No, Brevoort, he's rad. He's awesome.
He's a nice guy. We had him on and we were talking. We're going over all this stuff. And I'm sick of the Spider-Man movies where he's in high school. I want an older Spider-Man now because we've seen it so many times now. I want something where he's an established photographer. He's married. I really want them to do, I don't know if you've ever read the Kraven's Last Hunt.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If you haven't read it, go read it. But it's amazing. And I really wish they would do that. And anyways, he was like, no. And he completely disagreed that they need, that the audience wants this. And I felt like I was losing the interview. And then started talking about Star Blazers.
Oh, there you go.
We went for like an hour just on Star Blazers.
I will remember a year ago.
Yeah.
Before the terrible times, and before we all realized we were about to get launched into a year-long lockdown and pandemic, etc. So almost exactly this time, a little bit earlier. February of last year, I got to go out to New York to record a bunch of stuff for Marvel.
Yeah.
Because, hey, Spider-Woman #1 is going to come out in March.
Yeah,
this will be exciting. Nothing bad will ever happen after this. And so, So we all go out to lunch, and Tom is sitting next to me, and Nick Lowe is just like, she lives on a boat. And Tom's just like, I've heard you keep mentioning that she lives on a boat.
That's funny. Tom was a cool guy, though.
No, he's very cool, and
You know, he took his whole family to Japan to see Star Blazers on the opening day of the movie.
That's awesome.
And I was like, okay, dude, you're like my hero right now.
No,
I'm 47, so Star Blazers was huge for me.
I've been very lucky with the editors that I've gotten to work
good.
with over at Marvel. And this is definitely not me blowing smoke up asses or sucking up. I do feel like a lot of the editors are very good about bringing out the best in your own work.
No, that's awesome.
And I might not always agree with their decisions. You know, there's always going to be something where I'm just like, no, I want that. But that's the editorial process for anything, you know, Marvel or any other, you know, writing a novel. I've heard. I don't know. I don't want to write a novel. That sounds painful. Yeah, kind of sounds like it sucks. No interest, but thank you. And the Marvel editors, I've been very, very happy with. Again, I'm not lying. There's no gun being held to my head.
Everything is good.
Especially for the Spider-Woman team from the get-go. Oh my gosh. So we had Jake Thomas, Lindsay Gowick, and then later added Shannon Ballesteros and Nick Lowe to the team. And then there were some transitions because of Corona, you know, but everyone encourages all of my worst ideas and or makes them bigger and better.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Like, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Like, I
love hearing that you're having a good team and a good experience and not having, because sometimes that tough, weird experience pulls out really good stuff. You know what I mean? Like that, having that just like, I'm a procrastinator and sometimes my best stuff comes at the end, you know?
I definitely would not know anything about that. Nor has Jake Thomas ever mentioned how good I am at hitting deadlines on Twitter. This is fine.
Karla does everything early.
Yes, I am very good at staying on schedule and exceptional at time management.
How are you keeping a straight face right now? I don't even understand.
I mean, luckily this is all audio instead of a video. Other than you get to see it, but yeah. I mean, I can keep a straight face because I had practice doing it so many times.
So you're in the throes of Spider-Woman, but who knows? You might this run might end and you go on to other characters, other books. Are you excited to explore other avenues besides Spider-Woman? I know there's always things in the works with Marvel and with just in the comic book realm as a whole. So I know there's lots of things you cannot talk about, but I'm wondering if you have ideas for other things that you might hopefully get a chance to do.
Yes.
There you go.
The end. No. There are some very cool things coming up in the future for both me and the readers.
Nice.
Hopefully. No, and I am very fortunate that Marvel seems to more and more look at me as, really certain pockets of Marvel looks at Karla Pacheco as, oh, we want something to explode and for everyone to be an asshole.
Nice.
What's your availability? It's like, yeah, I got you, boo.
I got you. No worries, we're good. You know what I watched it? You don't know why this reminds me, because we're talking in helicopters explosion, punching dinosaurs. For some reason, I watched the quintessential 80s action cop trailer today. And I've been trying to get everybody to watch it because it's like Cobra with Stallone.
The movie. Cobra?
Yeah. Dude,
yeah, the Stallone movie, Cobra?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go to YouTube and watch the trailer and you're like, that's the 80s there in a nutshell.
I don't need Kenric. I don't need to watch the trailer. I watched the movie.
I watched the movie too, but the trailer with the music and the cutscenes and the one-liners, it's like, oh my God, this is every 80s action cop movie all rolled into one thing right there for you.
I mean, that's, I mean, like, I think the thing I've been having the most fun with is the fact that I think everyone at Marvel has figured out that I'm just an absolute idiot who likes to go ham on everything. It's like, no, I'm going to blow it up and then hopefully also rip your heart out at some point. Like, I'm just going to go like, boom, 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 boom. Oh, emotional moment. Anyway.
I feel like you're tailor-made for a Deadpool run.
I very, very much love Deadpool, but the people who've been on it are doing a killer job. So, Kelly's kicking ass.
Well, that doesn't mean that at some future point, though.
At some future
You know what I'm saying? Humble as you want to be and humble as you are. 5 years down the road, 2 years down the road, you never know. I'm just saying your style, it would fit really well. Let's put it that way.
I think pretty much everyone can probably figure out I'm basically Deadpool in real life.
I can't die, bitches.
Actually, hold up. Okay, so no one on the listening can hear this right now, but Kenric will be able to see. Yes.
Oh, won't even say, but that is awesome. That makes a lot of sense.
No, well, what I'm holding up right now is my side collection.
Yeah.
That I got for Christmas. Can
that
I
is
use
awesome.
them? Yes.
Nice. I couldn't use them. I'd poke my eye out.
Yeah, they're a little. Anyway, perfect for the audio medium.
That's right.
Karla doing side tricks with my sigh.
See, now we can just put in some over-the-top commentary about anything we want at that point.
Yes, no, Stunt Dick got me. Actually, he didn't buy me sigh. He gave me his sigh.
Oh, nice! And they got
for Christmas, which is If you're not the type of people who get married, it's just an exchange of martial art weapons.
Yeah.
And so I got sigh plus 2 different super old school like 1960s kung fu books.
Nice.
Specifically about side training, like the old school ones.
Yeah.
Pata and I were just like, I was taking pictures and showing them back to him. He's like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, no, I know that one.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Hey, any chance of you doing an independent book? Is that something like you gotta not even?
Like I said, there are a couple things coming up that are interesting.
Well, then we need to get you back on when you're able to talk about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It is really funny because like I've had a couple interviews in the past 2 weeks and people are like, oh, what else are you doing? I go, absolutely nothing I'm going to talk about.
That's the way it goes when you're in that medium though. Because I
want to encourage people to check out Spider-Woman.
Yeah.
Number 10. We're like wrapping
Everybody
up.
Should though, because you guys are doing amazing work.
We're wrapping up the big storyline, and then we're getting ready to launch directly into another one with a whole bunch of new villains.
Cool.
And I'm excited about it. And then also some old school villains that I'm also excited about.
I'm happy for you.
Also, there's swords. There's going to be swords and monster trucks.
Are we getting more helicopters exploding?
Horses.
Exploding horses?
Well, I mean, they don't really explode.
They could now. Will Marvel let that happen?
Yeah, we've got some really, really cool stuff that I'm excited about.
I'm excited.
I'm stoked about it. I can't. And for the other stuff I am currently working on that I can't talk about yet. I'm also
when you can, please come back.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely. You're a pleasure to talk with. This has been.
Oh, I'm a treat.
It's been an hour and 15 minutes, and it feels like we just started talking 5 minutes ago.
I think we started talking like 20 mintes before you even hit record. So
yeah, that was the worst thing. Well, no, we got it. I got it all recorded.
Oh, nice. There you go.
But it's that's the worst thing because inevitably I'll start talking with somebody and it's the same thing, right? We start talking and then I'm somebody who likes to ask questions, which like if you're in a bar, sometimes that drives people nuts. Or other people talking, so it's good. But you and I just started vibing right away, and so it's like, and then it's like, oh, maybe I should do an introduction. I don't know.
Well, and then even after we got past the introduction, the first half hour was just us talking about stunt people tricks and histories.
Hey, before I let you go, I don't know if it's something you can talk about, but where did Stunt Dick, the name, come from? Because I said Stunt Cock because I was thinking of the Trey Parker movie.
Oh, yeah.
Orgasmo. That's what came in my head. That's why. And you're like, no, Stunt Dick. And I was like, well, but in my head, I'm having Orgasmo. So I got to know how that came about.
So Stunt Dick was because for some limited amounts of privacy that I put on Twitter.
Right.
I mean, I basically put my entire life on Twitter. The Karla Pacheco.
They're following you today.
It's a treat.
I'm in for a ride.
Yeah, and no, I'm basically like this terrible, tiny, awful raccoon in like a human suit that occasionally tweets and writes comics and dates a stuntman. And so at some point, for, like I said, for privacy reasons, I decided to just start hashtagging him as Stunt Dick, 3 eyes, at Emerald City Comic Con. At Emerald City Comic Con, not last year, the year before, his first year coming, I made him a T-shirt. It just said stunt. That was the year that I wore T-shirts that all had the Sheraton bathroom code on them.
Oh, it was hilarious.
Oh no, it was epic. I showed up downstairs in the Sheraton.
Yeah.
First night of ECC, and I am just wearing it was a fancy dress that just had bathroom code 1995, because I went down and found out what the bathroom code was, went upstairs into my room, was in the middle of a podcast, and then also like ironed on letters to get the exact thing. So Dennis Culver and I had kind of a competition of who was going to post the bathroom code for the Sheraton bar at ECCC. It's been kind of a thing for several years now. So I just walked down like a queen coming down the mountain of like, hello. and I've just got the bathroom code written across my tits.
Oh God, that's hilarious.
Everybody. And then, so the kicker was, for the rest of the weekend, I had a different T-shirt every day that had the exact same thing on it.
Did they change the code up?
No, they didn't. I thought they were gonna.
Yeah.
I thought they were gonna change the code. I assumed they were. I had extra numbers if they were going to, so that I could go up and switch it. But yeah, I had like a dress. I had 2 different T-shirts. I had all of these iron-on letters, so I was ready to go at a moment's fucking notice. And it was funny because I thought that once the bar managers noticed it, that they'd either change it or they'd kick me out, either of which would have been completely justified. Instead, finally, I was like standing up at the bar, and the bar manager looks over and he goes, "Oh my God." And he points at me, and then he starts pulling over every member of the staff to come over. So anyway, the answer to what happens if you show up at the bar wearing the bathroom code at the Sheraton during Emerald City Comic Con, it's the bar manager will pull everyone around to get pictures with you, with all of the staff, and then you get a lot of free drinks.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. I'm just going to find you at the next Emerald City Comic Con that's actually there, and just
it's very easy to do, because my entire thing is I don't go to the parties. I don't go to a 10 people dinner, as we walk 6 blocks down the street trying to find a place that can feed everyone. My entire thing is I set up court at the Sheraton bar. I will be there. Might be reading a book if no one's around. Might be working. you know, who's to say? Most likely I'll be eating chicken wings and getting shit-faced. But yeah, the following year, we were just sitting there quietly, and the manager walks through and goes, "You," and Stunt Dick was just like, I said, "Oh, he'll remember me. I'm gonna wave." He goes, "I'm not sure he will." I wave, and he goes, "The code girl." He goes, "That was the greatest thing ever."
That's awesome.
Anyway, Karla's kind of epic. There you go.
Karla's kind of epic. I love that you talk about yourself in the third person.
I mean, I
feel like more people should do that from time to time.
Dude, we haven't. Well, okay, there is an entire thing called Karla's Gonna Karla, which is now
Karla's Gonna Karla. That's hilarious.
Karla's Gonna Karla. It's basically all my bad decisions, every terrible choice that I make. Karla's Gonna Karla. Like, you can only accept it. Try to go with the ride. I mean, we didn't even, dude, trust me, like, save it up for next time. We didn't even get to the point where I actually won the Exxon Valdez from Waterworld fighting in the Thunderdome.
Oh yeah, let's save that because that sounds epic.
Yeah, no. We'll save it for
next time. Yeah, I'm gonna have Jeff reach out to you. I don't know. Did he reach out to you directly, or did he reach out?
Yeah, no. He reached out to me directly. Yeah.
Okay. So. I'm going to have him set up another one because this was too much fun. I wasn't expecting it because until I did some research and I always try to go on and find out about people. And I watched you do an interview with somebody, and I won't say, who they are or nothing like that, but they were very quiet with some things, and it was just funny because I was like, oh, I'm going to like this girl because she's just I love over the top people. They just make life so much more fun.
See, I mean, like, my joke is always just like, in my mind, this is perfectly normal. What do you mean all the other writers aren't doing this?
That's how I am. In my mind, it's like, this is totally normal.
Yeah. But who else doesn't fight in the Thunderdome, like in the middle of a post-apocalyptic desert? I don't know. Couldn't be me. Yeah. Well, so, yeah, no, but this has been lovely. And thank you so much for having me on. We will talk again soon when I can talk about other projects and when we also find out all the terrible shit I did in the next couple issues of Spider-Woman.
Nice. I love it. All right, guys, get out there, check out Spider-Woman at your local comic book store. And why don't you give Karla a follow on her Twitter at the Karla Pacheco? I think you're going to have a lot of fun. Karla, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Kenric. Lovely talking with you.